So question, if the war was won more than any war has ever been won before, then why send thousands more troops overseas?
So MeidasTouch just exposed a massive contradiction in Trump's Iran war rhetoric, and it reveals everything wrong with this administration's messaging. They're documenting how troops are literally starving while Trump claims total victory. This is independent journalism at its most essential.
There's quite clearly a growing gap between what Donald Trump is saying about the Iran war and what is actually happening. Because while Trump continues to claim the war is very close to over, that he said many a times before, the US is doing the exact opposite of winding down. It seems to be escalating.
This pattern started with those February airstrikes and the Khamenei assassination. Every escalation gets wrapped in victory language while troops pay the real price. It's classic Trump. Declare mission accomplished while doubling down on military action.
According to new reporting from the Washington Post, the US is sending thousands more troops into the Middle East, not withdrawing, not stabilizing, but expanding, it seems.
The Washington Post doesn't publish troop movement stories lightly. Their Pentagon sources are rock solid. Thousands more troops heading to a region where Trump claims we've already won exposes the fundamental dishonesty of his peace narrative.
At the same time, reports have emerged showing just dire conditions that troops are having to endure as this conflict is drawn out. US troops deployed to the Middle East during the Iran war are facing scarce food supplies, forcing some to ration what can barely be called a meal and are having to endure prolonged hunger.
This is where rhetoric meets brutal reality. While Trump tweets about historic victories, American soldiers are rationing meals. It's a moral failure of leadership when your troops are hungry while you're claiming the war is nearly over.
And alarmed by these conditions, family members have reportedly spent significant sums sending care packages to try and help nourish their loved ones serving the country. But US Postal Service deliveries to the region have been suspended, leaving boxes stuffed with home-cooked meals and protein bars stranded in limbo.
Military families spending their own savings to feed deployed troops is unprecedented in modern warfare. The postal suspension means Iran's blockade is working. Supply lines are broken. That's not what victory looks like.
And at the moment, more than 50,000 American service members are currently stationed in the Middle East, including thousands of Marines and sailors aboard warships patrolling the Strait of Hormuz. Many of these vessels have not made port since the war erupted in late February.
50,000 troops is a massive deployment, larger than most countries' entire militaries. The Strait of Hormuz controls 20% of global oil traffic, and these ships haven't docked in 2 months. Iran's blockade is clearly effective.
And when their commander-in-chief is chopping and changing every 5 minutes from just complete genocidal manic calls to action to, well, things are going well, it's hard to keep up, right? He has repeatedly described this war as very close to over.
Remember, Trump just announced that Israel-Hezbollah truce last week, calling it a major breakthrough. But Iran's naval blockade continues, and we're still sending more troops. The mixed messaging is strategically dangerous and demoralizing.
I mean, wars don't look like this when they're ending. And this fits a broader pattern that we've seen throughout this conflict. The Trump administration declares victory, escalate operations, and shift messaging, then repeat.
We saw this exact cycle when Pakistan peace talks collapsed in March. Trump declared victory, then announced the naval blockade 2 days later. It's damage control masquerading as strategy, and troops are bearing the cost.
So I give it a few more days before there is a lengthy Truth Social post about how Iran has violated the terms, and it's back to more Call of Duty-like rhetoric.
The uranium enrichment timeline dispute is still unresolved. U.S. intelligence says 20 years, Iran claims 5. Trump's decision to maintain the naval blockade while claiming victory shows his Call of Duty approach treats war like entertainment. The uranium enrichment timeline dispute is still unresolved. U.S. intelligence says 20 years, Iran claims 5. Trump's decision to maintain the naval blockade while claiming victory shows his Call of Duty approach treats war like entertainment. The uranium enrichment timeline dispute is still unresolved. U.S. intelligence says 20 years, Iran claims 5. Trump's decision to maintain the naval blockade while claiming victory shows his Call of Duty approach treats war like entertainment. The uranium enrichment timeline dispute is still unresolved. U.S. intelligence says 20 years, Iran claims 5. Trump's decision to maintain the naval blockade while claiming victory shows his Call of Duty approach treats war like entertainment. The uranium enrichment timeline dispute is still unresolved. U.S. intelligence says 20 years, Iran claims 5. Trump's decision to maintain the naval blockade while claiming victory shows his Call of Duty approach treats war like entertainment.